This video is about the things that made me unhappy. And there were 4 key areas in my life that made me seriously miserable. And maybe you might be doing the same things. To find out more, please stay tuned to this video. Welcome to the SCG Show, the home of education entertainment, and please do me a favor, if you really enjoyed this video, smash that like button. I would really appreciate it. Over the last couple of years, I've learned more about myself and my life than ever before. So much has happened, so much has changed. It's crazy. I started this very YouTube channel in early 2020. The pandemic happened. We all know what happened there. I actually became sober from a crippling addiction. I walked away from a toxic relationship with a narcissist. My dad tragically fell ill and died young at the age of 62. I've lost contact and drifted apart with family members. I've also drifted apart from friends I've known for my entire life. So yes, it's been a lot to take at once, for sure. But instead, this video will center more on the things I could control. Mainly relationships, my former addiction, becoming a better version of myself. What's happiness? Happiness is when your life fulfills your needs. So I can safely say my needs were not met at all when I was engaging in the 4 areas I'm going to highlight. I'm not necessarily a needy, insecure man. I'm chilled out, I'm good company. I like people, but I also like my own space. I treat people how they wish to treat me. I work pretty hard, but I also like to unwind and relax. I love to laugh, I love to read, I love to have fun. It sounds like a personal ad, but my needs are not that demanding. And to know that, despite being the case that I was making myself so unhappy in my life, and subconsciously too, is scary. Basically, the first thing I did is I stopped blaming everyone else except for myself. I, like you, we are all the captains of our own destinies, the masters of our own fate. The buck always starts and stops with us alone. Anyone can decide at any moment to be happy. Seriously, anyone. You just have to make that decision. Here are the things that were making me so unhappy in my life. I officially started gambling when I turned 18. In fact, I couldn't wait. I was so excited to be old enough to walk into a betting shop. Or better yet, go into a casino, grab a beer, and start blowing away my money. Strange. Most youngsters, when they hit the legal age to drink in whatever country, etc., just cannot wait to party, hit the bars, whatever. Which I did. But I wanted a bet more than anything. I could easily blame my granddad for this, who died a gambling addict at 90. His entire life revolved around going to the casino. He hardly cared for his family, had not really any friends, he just wanted a bet. He caused pain and misery for everyone around him, and still kept wanting to gamble. But he's not to blame at all. I'm to blame. I foolishly believed gambling could be a hobby, then eventually a way to make money. Can you see how foolish I was? I wouldn't necessarily gamble all the time, but in waves. I'd take a few months off or weeks, then I would hit the shops and the casinos hard. Do not get me even started on the evils of online gambling. And as I got older and in turn made more money, I became more reckless. Hardly anyone knew of my secret life. No one knew of the pain and suffering I was going through. Nor did they know those awful bus rides home after blowing it all, crying my eyes out. For the 14 years I gambled, you could argue I was miserable throughout, or I was miserable in doses when I bet. But giving up, becoming clean and sober, since April 2019 has changed my life. Not only do I not gamble anymore, I have no desire to. And that has not only saved my life, but made me happier. Have you ever met a happy addict? Sadly, in my opinion, they don't exist. Please don't forget to hit the like button if you are enjoying this video. A few years back, I bemoaned myself for being a bit lonely and not having as many friends as I did when I was younger. then I stopped and thought about the many friendships I've had over the years and how wrong most of them were. I'm a guy who can make friends with anyone. I'm a chameleon. I can blend into my background and connect with whoever. But the problem with that is you can become friends with anyone, but never really have a best friend. I have had best friends over the years. I do not speak to them or see them at all, and vice versa. Wrong friends make you miserable, and without realizing it. I had, of course, made friends who were gambling addicts as well, just like me. All they wanted to do was go to the casino, blow their money. When I asked and insisted we meet up outside of the casino, none of them did. These weren't real friends. These were people who just wanted an excuse to gamble. I also remember having an awfully close friendship with a narcissist. All he cared about was himself. He was very selfish, obnoxious. He always made me travel to him, never to me. We always had to go where he wanted to. Always had to do what he wanted to do. He never listened to me, nor respected my opinion. Enough was enough. I cut contact. I was not going to be his follower, his sheep, and I'm so happy as a result of that. Genuine friends want the best for you. They bring you up when you're down. They make you laugh. They talk to you. They're always there for you. It's cliche, but it's true. When I lost my dad, one of my closest friends could not have been colder and more distant. To this day, he still has not offered the support to me that I needed in such a traumatic time. Remember, happiness is when your needs are not actually being undermined and they're actually being met or compromised or anything like that. The wrong friends will never meet your needs, and therefore, that's what made me unhappy. Whether I was dating or in a serious relationship with a toxic person or the wrong person, I was miserable. You're never going to be good enough for the wrong person, and I had to learn that the hard way. I'm going to say something and I genuinely mean it. I have no romantic regrets other than the time that I wasted. That's all. I don't regret breaking up with anyone, or them breaking up with me, or rejecting me, or it not working out. Seriously. Because I'll never be good enough for the wrong person. I used to get seriously butthurt if a woman would turn me down, ghost me, say no to me. But looking back, it was probably for the best for both of us. And even now, if they rejected me years later, again, who cares? I remember doing everything I could to make women who were not sure about me or playing games with me like me more. I was taken for a ride by all of them. They would lead me on, I would insecurely beg and plead, and they would just cut me out and press the ejector seat and go. Guys and girls, rejection is a part of life. I'd rather be rejected and learn to be strong enough to take it, so when I do meet somebody right for me eventually, I'd appreciate them much more. Same goes for toxic relationships I've had. My most recent breakup was actually with a person who was very narcissistic. She was extremely entitled, very mature, quite foolish, a very, very difficult person. There was no pleasing her, and remember, you cannot please the unpleasable. I remember on our final night together, before we split for good, me sitting opposite her as she was waffling on, and I felt utterly miserable. I had to watch what I said, tread on eggshells, feeling totally alone. My needs were not met. If it was toxic love, or a false relationship, I was just so unhappy. Lastly, I was unhappy because I used to listen to awful advice all the time, and I was guided by people who were foolish. Would you seek the advice of a dentist on how to fix a leaky sink? Or a rocket scientist on how to run a successful restaurant? People have specialist fields, experience, and so on. But being foolish as I used to take bad advice from the wrong people. Some of the people meant well and wanted to help. Some of them secretly wanted to see me fail and loved watching it happen. and others were just damn fools. So why did this make me miserable? Because 9 times out of 10 in my life, I found out I was doing things I hated that made me miserable. Working jobs or pursuing a career I hated. Dating women I had no connection with because friends and family said, oh, she'd be great for you. Or viewing the world in a delusional, confused manner. Approaching business at times arse backwards or work arse backwards. The greatest lessons I've learned in life and the greatest advice has been from the internet, believe it or not, and through life experience. I learned more about running my own business for the last 12 years by doing it myself and learning from my mistakes and reaching out to people online, videos, blogs, you name it. Sure, you may get a few tips here and there, but it was my experience myself that I learned. Taking off awful advice consistently made me miserable. But trusting my own instincts, living life on my terms, more makes me genuinely feel more empowered, and in return, makes me a much happier person. Hey, thanks for watching. Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. And if you enjoyed this video, here's some more content you might be interested in.